Hello and welcome back to Seaside Garage and a short video about my new project. As always, I made a little quiz yesterday and I got a couple of answers, and for the first time ever, none of you actually guessed what it is. Well, I did not give a lot of leads to what kind of car it was. I think I only said that it was a tribute to F1 and Michael Schumacher, and the guesses that I got was the Cinquecento or Seiscento, I'm actually unsure, Schumi edition, which it would have been extremely cool, but I have never even seen one of those in my country, so I don't think they are around. But no, it's not a Schumi edition Seiscento, but it is a bit back to the roots of this channel. I love hot hatches from the 80s and the 90s, and this one is really following the bloodlines of my previous big project, the Renault 5 GT Turbo. So let's take a look at it. And yeah, the Renault Clio 1.8 16 valve Grand Prix is right over there. As you can see, the car is pretty much in pieces at the moment. It will need a lot of work, maybe not as much as it might look like. I'm going to have to use some hours on this one. This car I actually went to look at over a year ago. I bought it from a guy who had a Renault 5 GT Turbo as well while I did it. So a year ago, actually more than that, I took my old Volvo 240 and drove to the guy's place and bought a set of yellow, really cool fog lights for my Renault 5. And at the same time, I saw this one. I was really tempted to buy it back then, but I had the Renault 5 GT Turbo, so this was maybe a bit too similar. Also, I didn't really have the money to buy it. And each and every time I look at projects, this one comes back to my mind. I was really tempted. And then suddenly, a couple of weeks ago, Morten, the guy, sent me a picture of this one again, where he had just washed it and told me that now it was too late, because now he was going to start fixing it up. And I passed the chance to buy it. And then I just wrote him, no, I want to buy it. Can I buy it? And I don't know if it was a trick from his side, but either way, I bought it. And today I went to pick it up, and now it's here. In many ways, it feels like I have owned this car for the entire year, because Morten sent me a lot of pictures of this car. He has already done a lot of the rust repairs, and he showed me some pictures and videos. And I have been looking at those pictures so many times that I feel like I know this car inside out without even really looked at it in person. So that's a bit fun. I think this is a really cool car. It is very similar to the Renault 5 GT Turbo that I no longer own. So I'm really happy to once again have a legendary fast hot hatch from the 90s this time. And yeah, it fits my collection really good. I think it's a cool car. This is the Clio Generation 1, but with the facelift. And it's a bit of a shame actually, because the very first edition of this had a cooler looking cabin in my opinion, and some more boxy outsides. But either way, I think this is really cool as well. Another thing, when people hear about this car and see it, they tend to always say, oh, it's not a Williams. And no, it's not a Williams. This one is a 1.8, 137 horsepower engine, and it will always live a bit in the shadow of the Williams. But I don't think, don't quote me, that the difference is that big. The Williams got, I think, 50 horsepower more. Not 50, but 15. And some suspension to upgrade. I think it's a bit wider. I'm not an expert on that, but this model though is a bit rare. This is the Grand Prix, the Schumacher or Renault F1 tribute car. They made 500 of these. They were all the same blue color. They had these pretty cool looking alloy wheels. This is missing the sensor cap, but it's in the car. And it got a little plate in the cabin, a numbered plate from 1 to 500. This is number 480, so it's one of the very last of them. This is just a small reveal video, so I'm just going to show you a little bit of the car, and then in the next video on this project I will go in depth about what work needs to be done on this car and more details. But let's take a quick look at this car. And yeah, when it comes to projects, everyone will tell you that you should never buy someone else's project. It's always best to buy a car that is complete and not taken apart, and then go from there. I tend to not do that, but actually I think it's a bit of a myth. Of course, it's always difficult to put stuff back you haven't taken apart because you don't know how it really looks, but this is really simple. And also, Morten, the guy I bought it from, is a really nice guy. And he actually told me if I need any kind of help, then he would gladly come and help me out, and that is really nice of him. So I'm not that worried about that. He is also a bit of a perfectionist, in my eyes at least. I went to look at his Renault 5 today, and it is so awesome. He painted it himself in his garage, and everything is mint on that car. It really looks nice. I'm really surprised at how good of a result he actually got from painting the car himself. His plans for this, I think, was pretty much the same, to fix all rust, and he already started on that. This side he has not done anything to just yet, only cut out some of the places that are bad. As you can see, it's very bad down there. It is also very bad back here. And there are unfortunately some bubbles in the rear arch right here. So I might have to do something about that. On the other side, he has done a lot of work. It's not finished though, but the entire rocker panel has been changed, which is a bit of a difficult bit because the 16 valve and Williams are wider at the end, but you can't get the panel for them, so you have to modify a normal Clio 1.3 or whatever to fit it. And I don't know how hard that is, but it is a task to do. But this side is pretty much finished, except the rest of the wheel arch that still needs to be welded up. And yeah, it's going to be a good challenge. And remember that this is my hobby. I love wrenching on cars. I love to learn, and I love to try different kind of challenges. And this is one of the main reasons why I bought this car. I think it's extremely cool, for sure. But I would like to get better at doing stuff like this. And I would like to get better at blending the paint in. I'm going to hopefully buy some kind of paint gun and do this job as good as possible at your own garage, because I would really like to be able to blend the colors and fix rust visible like this to a okay standard. So this is actually a really good challenge for me. And if I have a Renault Clio Grand Prix 1.8 at the end that I can enjoy and drive, that's a pretty good benefit, really. But hopefully I can save this sticker. I don't think I can because it's too close already. Don't know if you can get these. It is a limited edition, so yeah, we'll see. We are going to take a better look at this car at a later stage, but the cabin is a pretty nice, very 90s place. Once again, like the Micra that I showed you yesterday, the upholstery gut. They just had some funny design ideas in the 90s for some reason. Unfortunately, it's the airbag edition, which I like airbags. It's not that. It's just they make steering wheels quite ugly. And this is a good example. I really don't like the look of this steering wheel, unfortunately. And I know I cannot just put a older one on because that will fail the MOT. But okay, it's not that bad. So one last thing to look at before ending this video is the engine. And there it is. I think this is a really cool looking engine for some reason. I like the materials it's made of, and the exhaust manifold that looks almost a bit scary down there. Unfortunately, this engine miss the plate that goes over top here, that I think is really cool. So I hope to be able to find that somewhere. And lucky for me, the original airbox assembly and so on is in the back of the car. I think everything is there, so that's nice. So this will be all for this video. It was just a small reveal video. In the next video, I will look at the car in more details. I just got back home. I haven't even really looked at it myself. I need to look at the paperwork and all that. So I'm gonna make a more detailed video very soon. But yeah, thank you for watching and see you in the next one.